Hello students, I am Sachin Prakash and I teach and mentor students in chemistry for IIT. I believe that the real confidence which is required to crack this IIT exam will come only when you are confident in tackling good problems. And that clarity and understanding of concepts will only develop when you are really comfortable in handling these problems. So this video contains the paper discussion which I have conducted in my uh, classes online. Okay, and a lot of good doubts are there which I have discussed here. It will be helping you people in understanding, developing an understanding in how to approach and tackle good problems. Okay, and if you like this, if you found this paper discussion video to be useful and interesting, you can, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, which will surely, motivate me to add some more useful videos of this type. Okay, because ultimately it's, this is just an effort, honest effort, small honest effort from my side to help the student, uh, help my students as well as other students also in in their ITJ preparation. So let us begin with this paper discussion. Okay.
Okay, so now we are going to start the paper discussion for WTF 14. This uh, is an advanced paper which is based on the topic group 13, which is the boron family. And this whole paper consists of like section 1, which is multi-correct, and then you have section 2, which is numerical value type. And ultimately section 3 is there, which is a matching list type. Okay. So let us discuss this paper one by one. Okay. So let us start with the matching list first. Okay. So in section 3 matching list type, you have a single correct, only one of the options are correct. So, okay. So let us start with this 33, 34. Any doubts? No. I think 33 and both are fairly clear. Only thing is you have to see in these type of questions corresponding to A. You have to see which of the options are correct. Then for B, which of the options are correct. C, which are correct. D, which are correct. Okay. So this way you are going to do this question. Okay. After 34, 35, 36. Yeah. Which option? All. R and S. Sublimes on heating and swells on heating. Okay, swells means that it expands on heating, and sublimes means that it converts into gaseous, gas on heating. Okay, so ALCLC when you are heating, then it will solid ALCLC will convert into vapor ALCLC. Okay, so only A will be the answer because ALCLC is having, like initially it is having a polymeric structure. When you're heating it, it will change into a dimer. So when it is on a dimer state, it will be vapor. It never goes into the liquid state. Are you getting a point? And alums on heating will be, expanding in volume. So alums are, this is a point which you have to just know. Okay? Yes or no? Okay, any other doubt in this question? See, all the Lewis acids will form acidic solution in water. Are you getting a point? So suppose you are having BCl3, if it reacts with water, if you are getting BCl3 OH plus H plus. This will be minus and this will be plus. So it will be forming an acidic solution. Okay, 36. I think 36, all the I think reactions are given in the notes also. Na2B4O7 plus NH4Cl, you'll get BN plus NaCl plus B2O3 plus H2O. B plus NaH will give Na3BO3 plus H2, NaH plus B2O3 will be giving NaBH4 plus NaBO2. Okay. So, and Na2B4O7 on heating will give NaBO2 and B2O3. So, match the following side, even though it looks lengthy, but actually it is simple. Okay. And you can also use elimination tactics to do these type of questions. Are you getting a point? For example, P and S cannot be together. So wherever P and S are there, those options are not correct. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? So you see, option D is having P and S, so it is not possible. D is having P and S, it is not possible. B is having P and S, it is not possible. So there is only one option. Are you getting a point? Similarly, so these type of things are there. Okay, we can take advantage of these things also. Okay, so this is done. 33 is done. Now let us come to 29 to 32. I think now there will be doubts, right? I am expecting. 29, 30. Acha, let us start with the from bottom. 32 is a doubt. 32 I have given, no, icosahedron. I had an intuition that they might ask and they have asked it. You have done this question or you forgot? Okay, so I have, so I have given icosahedron, everything. Number of 6 members, heterocyclic in borax, we have discussed in the class also. Yes? Okay, and people have asked it in doubts also. Then 30th question is a fact-based thing, you have to just know it. Okay, there's nothing you can do about it. There's no way of, tell me. No, you see, Al is aluminum. When it crystallizes, no. You cannot think of 6-membered coordination complexes. Are you getting a point? Al, no, the structure is not available for this. Okay. When it's not as easy as CuSO4.5H2. But you cannot think of something like aluminum is having 6 water molecules. See, 6 water molecules will be there with aluminum. Okay. But apart from this also, there are 2 into 6, so 12 water molecules are already consumed. But apart from that, 6 water molecules are linked together by 3 SO4 minus 2 hydrogen bonding. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? Okay, so this is something which is, the structure is not available. But this is a fact which you have to know. Yeah. Water of crystallization of the compound will be, it will be 6 only. Okay. 29. Explain. Okay. And 29, I think I've discussed this thing. And this question is going to be solved by using this structure. Are you getting a point? Did I discuss this structure in the class? This one? Okay, so you see, I told you people that if you are talking about boric acid, then in solid state, it will be having, like a planar structure of hexagonal symmetry. So the middle thing I have shown by this hexagon. Okay, this is the central hexagon. I am saying it is B. And then you have side hexagon, which is something like this. Are you getting a point? I am saying it is A. Are you getting a point? Now you see, ring A contains how many atoms? It contains two hydrogen bonds, this and this. The dot dot bonds are hydrogen bonds. Okay, and how many atoms are there? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, ring B is a central ring. Okay, how many atoms it is having? Now you see, it is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And how many hydrogen bonds it is having? First side, one hydrogen bond is there. So 6 hydrogen bonds. Getting a point? Now it is asking difference in between the number of atoms is X and difference between the hydrogen bonds is Y. So delta atoms is 12 minus 8, it is 4. So X is 4. Yes or no? And delta hydrogen bonds is how much? It is 6 minus 2, it is also 4. So X minus Y is 0. Getting a point. Now, personally, like I have discussed this question, this structure in the class. What do you see, from my point of view, it's very difficult to remember this structure. Are you getting a point? But if so, then they have asked to combine too many things in one figure. But this is the way you are going to solve it. Are you getting a point? They have assumed that you are supposed to be remembering this structure, which is quite difficult because it's not easy to draw this structure. So that is why I have given the, a PDF for this, just for this. But you are clear how to solve this question? Yeah, tell me. See, this is the central thing is, huh? No, you see, this is not a ring. This is just a borate ion, which I have drawn like that. Are you getting a one? This I have shown the borate ions, which are, I told you during the class that the two-dimensional planar structure of boric acid consists of borate ions which are linked together by hydrogen bonds. So this is a borate ion which we are talking about. Are you getting a one? And these hydrogen atoms are, yeah. What? Yeah, but it is not a ring. Ring will be made up of bonds. Okay. This is just what is the shape of triangle. It's not a ring. A ring is made up of bonds. Are you getting a point? So there's no bond connecting the oxygen atoms. Getting a point? This triangle represents the shape of the borate atom. Are you getting a point? The rings are consisting of bonds. Okay. So you'll be doing it like that. Don't worry, this type of question won't come. Okay. Because structure remembering is very tough. 25 to 28. 25 is a doubt. 28 is a doubt. 25, did I give the structure of boron? This structure did I give in the class? Boron, beryllium borohydride. So you see, it is having 4 bridge bonds, out of which 2 bridge bonds are connected with beryllium and boron, and 2 bridge bonds are between boron and boron. Are you getting a point? The total number of bridge bonds is 4. Number of BHB bond is 2. BHB bond is 2. Are you getting a point? Okay, so I think I give this structure. So I think, have you done it? You forgot. Okay. Yeah, so then it is good. Then after this, 26. See, BN bond order will be same as that of Borazzi. Okay, because you see, the boron nitride in graphite structure consists of, series of 6 numbered planar rings. which are similar to that of borazine. Just like graphite consists of fused benzene rings, boron nitride consists of fused borazine rings. Are you getting a point? In benzene, what is the bond order? It is 4/3. So in graphite also the bond order is 4/3. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? Similarly, here in borazine the bond order is 4/3. So in boron nitride, with layered boron nitride, it is also 4/3. Okay, 27. Is a doubt? Yeah. Okay, let us see. For some people, it might be a doubt, so I will discuss it. Now, you see, this is the structure of hydrated boron. Okay. Now, you see the sp3 boron oxygen bond will be longer and sp2 boron oxygen bond will be shorter. Because as the S character increases, the bond becomes shorter. Now, how many the atoms which are connected to sp3 boron will be longer and connected to sp2 boron will be shorter. Now you see how many sp2 boron oxygen bonds are there? 3 and 3, 6. Yes or no? And how many sp3 boron oxygen bonds are there? 4 and 4, 8. So it will be what? 8 minus 6, it is 2. Are you getting a point? 28 is a doubt? No, because I have given it in the notes also that boron is bonded to 5 boron atoms in case of icosahedral boron. And each boron contributes only 3 electrons to the bond. So 5/3. Is it clear? Okay. Now after this 23 and 24. Why is it moving on this one? 23 and 24. Okay, 23. 23 increasing, it is asking for the correct statement. Now, you see, when you're talking about Lewis acidity, then you see, boron, any compound of boron will have higher Lewis acidity than that of aluminium, gallium, indium, and thallium. Because Lewis acidity will be decreasing down the road. Are you getting a point? And between boron atoms with different halogens, okay, more back bonding means less Lewis acidity. So BCl3 will be more than BF3 and these two will be more than AlCl3. Are you getting a point? Okay. So this is the order of Lewis acidity, so A is wrong. Next is BF3 complex with LCH3 whole set. Okay, so let us write this. Okay, so it is basically, you know, like suppose you have a complex. Okay. BF3 dot NCH3 whole set. Okay, and plus you are reacting BCl3. Then you are getting BCl3 dot NCH3 whole thrice plus BF3. Now you see, if this reaction is spontaneous, then a weaker acid will be giving us this is not a weaker acid. So stronger acid will be giving us stronger Lewis acid. Gives a weaker Lewis acid. In a spontaneous reaction. Are you getting a point? So this reaction will take place. Getting a point? See? Okay, similarly, you see BH3 is a stronger Lewis acid than BBr3. Are you agreeing? Yes or no? Because here there is back bonding, some back bonding is possible, no back bonding is possible. Are you getting a point? So, and CO can act as a Lewis base. Yes or no? So you see, if you have BH3CO and it reacts with BBr3, and it will be, and let us say we write the product as BBr3CO plus BH3. In this case, the weaker Lewis acid gives a stronger Lewis acid. So the process will be non-spontaneous. Are you getting my point? At room temperature. Is it clear? And last reaction is that the BF3 BF3 is formed by reaction of B2O3 with CaF2 and concentrated H2SO4. So that is correct. Yes or no? You are getting BF3 plus CaSO4 plus H2. Are you getting a point? You see, basically what will happen that these two will first react to give BOH whole thrice. Are you getting a point? And then this BOH whole thrice plus CaF2 will be giving BF3 plus Ca2 plus. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? This OH minus will react with H plus to give H2, and Ca2 plus will react with SO4 minus to give CaSO4. Are you getting a point? Yeah. 24 is also a doubt. Yes, no. But anyways, I want to just discuss one point. You see, B2H6 when reacts with ammonia in limited quantity, then at 200 degrees centigrade, it gives B3NCH6. Are you getting a point? Okay, plus H2. But if B2H6 reacts with ammonia in excess quantity, it will give layered boron nitride structure. Are you getting a point? And if B2H6 reacts with NH3 at very low temperature, like minus 150, you get the ammoniated complex. Getting a point? I thought that there might be some confusion, so I'm discussing it right now. Okay. Anyways, I have given these reactions. Yeah, tell me. 33rd. Yes, tell me. B3 and CH6. Yeah, so boron is having polar bonds, but overall the structure is non-polar. The net dipole moment is 0. Are you getting my point? Are you understanding how it will be 0? Okay, then it is good. So you see, a molecule can have polar bonds, but it may be non-polar because of the geometric calculation of dipole moment. Are you getting my point? Okay. So we are done with this. See, the idea is that during the paper discussion, we have to understand what are the ways of thinking in a question. Okay, so these questions help us develop an understanding towards Typical question. Okay, 24 is done. 20, yeah, tell me. Yeah, different boric acids can be considered to be hydrates of B2O3 with different ratios of B2O3 and H2O. So I think this I have discussed in the class also. I think I have given that HCBO3 can be considered to be B2O3 dot CH2, okay, into half. Okay, HBO2 can be considered to be B2O3 dot H2 into half. Yes. And then H2B4O7. This can be considered to be 2B2O3 dot H2. So all are B2O3 with different ratio. In this case, the ratio is what? 1:3. In this case, it is 1:1. In this case, it is 2:1. Getting a point? I think I have given this thing in the notes, right? Yeah, then it is good. Okay. Generally, yeah, there will. B and C options. Yeah, definitely. That was what I was discussing a bit back now. 1 minute. Let me just. Where is it? Yeah. What is happening to this? That is what I was discussing, you know, here. Yeah. You see, when you're talking of B, at low temperature, diborane combines with ammonia to form an ionic product, which is this. This is the low temperature. So, if B2 exists, we were treated with excess of ammonia. So, it is clear? Both B and C. This is two-dimensional structure. Okay. I have given this in the note, but I thought that, you know, there might be confusion because you see, you can see 200 degrees centigrade both places. Okay, so you might argue that why borazine won't be formed. So borazine is formed when the ratio is limited. Okay, when the ratio is ammonia is in excess, you will be getting boron nitrate. Now, okay, next is 21 and 22. I don't think 22 is a doubt. Option C. I have told you people, yeah, I have told you people that for symmetric cleavage, okay, less electronegative, the attacking nucleophile should be either less electronegative or it should be bulky. Yes? Sorry. What is happening? Yeah. Attacking nucleophile should be either less electronegative or bulky. Okay. Then only it will not attack the same carbon. Okay. So CO is what? CO is less electronegative. Okay, I have told that try, you know, this is having 3 CH3 groups, so it is bulky. Similarly, sulfur having 2 CH3 group bulky. And this is having only 1 CH3, so it will be giving both products, but it will be more towards the unsymmetrical cleavage. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? Huh? Okay. I think we discussed this part in, if you remember, I discussed that if you have B2 acid. Yes? And if you are treating it with NH2, then it attacks here and this goes, so you get B. Do you remember this? And then NH3 You see, there will be more delta plus here because NH3 is the electron withdrawing group. And since this is a small group, so it will again attack here. Okay. And in that case, what you know, this will both will also fold, so you'll be getting BH4 minus plus BNH3 whole to H2 plus. Are you remembering this thing? Okay, so this is how it will look. You see, this is unsymmetrical cleavage. Because both boron are not getting the nucleophile. Only one of the boron atoms is getting both the nucleophile. Okay, if we both get one each, it will be symmetrical cleavage. Are you getting a point? Okay, so I have discussed this in the class. You can refer to the notes also. 21 and 20. Yes. Carbon is less electronegative. No, carbon is having a lone pair. This is attacking. So you see, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, these are highly electronegative. Carbon is not that electronegative. Okay. 21, 20. Borate and BO3 minus can combine to form polymeric borates, but CO3 to not minus cannot. See, basically borates will be forming what you say as it can form polymeric, just like silicates. Borates can also form polymeric structures. For example, if I am talking about pyroborate, then this will be like pyroborate. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? So you see, you can visualize each borate unit like a combination of two triangular. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? So this way it can polymerize to give multiple. So you can also have something like this. Okay, this is like linear borate. Just like silicates, we will be discussing these things in silicates actually. But same is applicable for borates also. So if I am talking about a linear borate, it will be something like this. Four minus, four minus, four minus. Okay, and so on. So this type of structure formation is possible in case of borates, but it doesn't happen in case of carbon. Okay. Getting a point? Option A, BCl4 minus is not found because fluorine is too big in size and boron is a very small central atom. So you're getting a point. So there is too much of steric routing. Get it? No product is formed. It will remain like that one. Getting it? Huh? Second structure. Where? Yeah, this is a linear borate. Structures of borates are not part of syllabus. Okay. But structure of silicates is part of syllabus. So I will just show you where we'll be discussing these things. You see, like this is silicate, pyrosilicate, this is linear silicate. Okay. Then these are like double chain silicates. This is a cyclic silicate. Are you getting about? Just like a silicate unit, you can also have borate unit. That's it. Are you getting a point? Okay, that is it. First is pyroborate. In Cengage, they have given some thing on this different types of borates, but that is extra syllabus. It is not there in there. Okay, if you want, you can go through it, but that is not required. They have never asked questions on linear and pyroborate. But they have analogous structure. Okay. Boron and silicon are what you call as diagonally related, right? So that's why silicon forms silicates, which can form polymeric chains. Similarly, boron can form borates, which can also have polymeric chains. Is it clear to all of you? Okay. Now, 1920, yeah. BH4 boron mainly from anion. 21D. No, it is you can think of it like this, that BH4 minus will be smaller in size. So high hydrolysis tendency. Okay. 20th, 19th, any doubt? 21st option. See, just like MgCl2, I think I've discussed this in Mg. On heating this, MgOH whole twice plus HCl plus 4H2O. Something like that. 2H2 is never removed. It undergoes hydrolysis. So this is because of high charge density of cation. It will not release all water molecules. Are you getting a point? So if it does not release, it will undergo hydrolysis. I won't let my water molecules go. So it will lead to hydrolysis. Are you getting a point? So MgCl2, similarly AlCl3 not 6H2. It will also have the same thing. Yes or no? That's it. Okay. Any other doubt in 19, 20, 21? Yeah, AlCl3 is covalent, no? So bonding, so you know, and AlFC is ionic. So ionic means high melting point, covalent means low melting point. Getting a point? Okay. So 19 is something I think which was this type of question was there in the mains also, right? Okay. So with this, we have finished the paper. Yeah, tell me. Because it is borax. Not borax. It's metaboric acid. No, it's not metaboric acid also. See, it is boric anhydride actually. B2O3 actually combines. It's not boric acid, it is boric anhydride which combines with, it is something like this is the reaction. Let me get. Okay, something like MO plus B2O3 is MgO2. Yeah. See, in chemistry, there won't be any question which will be tough. Are you getting a point? The way we are covering the syllabus doesn't leave a lot of scope for any new point. Are you getting a new concept? Okay. But the thing is that the questions will be lengthy. I think this is a very lengthy paper. Okay. So right now I am first. Let me stop the recording. Okay. Okay. So you see, first point is clear. Acidic strength of HF increases because of Lee-Chatelier response. HF gives H plus and F minus. F minus is removed by BFC in form of complex formation. So that if you add BFC, it goes in the forward direction. Second option, hybridization of boron changes because here initially it is sp2, now it is sp3. If hybridization changes, the bond angle also changes from 120 degree to 109.5 degree. The bond angle will change. B of bond length will increase because sp3 bond is longer than sp2 bond. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? Okay. So this is clear. Yeah. Boron mainly consists of anions like borate ions, but aluminum is rarely present in form of anion. This is because boron is a non-metal. So it has a tendency to form covalent bonds, covalent anions. Aluminum is a metal, so it does not have a lot of tendency to form covalent anions. Are you getting a point? Okay. Any other thing? Okay. Now,